92,
Right.
and then the 192 goes into Pro Tools.
Digitally, it goes into the computer with that digital cable.
The computer, digitally.
Yeah.
And then into Pro Tools.
Yeah.
And then back out of Pro Tools into the 192.
Mm-hmm.
And then back into the summing matrix. Right?
No, not yet. After the D to A conversion, where's the next stop? Back to the patch bay, right?
Yeah.
All roads usually lead to the patch bay.
Oh, it's the multi-track return.
Multi-track returns. We took that multi-track return 1 and patched it into
the tape monitor input,
which is
turning it back into analog.
into the no. What's turning it back into analog?
The summing matrix.
No, the D to A converter, the 192, right? So it's analog coming out of there. Remember this: the patch bay and the console can only speak one language. Analog. You don't have any digital patches happening on the patch bay. So we took that multi-track return. We patched it into the big faders, which are labeled what?
Tape monitor input.
Tape monitor input. So we come back into what was it? Channel 1.
Mm-hmm.
So the signal hits there. After that, it goes to where?
The summing matrix.
Summing matrix. What's the output of the summing matrix?
Left and right stereo.
Stereo left and right. And then that stereo left and right signal goes where? Monitor management, right? Monitor management. Bingo. Right.
What we should be hearing, Tom?
Yeah, it's always one little dumb mistake. So we're returning. Oh, we have external.
There you go.
I had that button pressed. We'll go over this button here later. Not really. It selects. This is a selection to select a different input to the monitor section than the summing.
Like CDs, players, and all
Right.
that.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you press this.
What,
you
say
can
he's
select
learning?
CD player or something. We've got our signal. We're hitting Pro Tools. We're using this section of the console to send to Pro Tools and this to return and monitor. Right?
This was just when you recording a vocal, right?
This is for when you're recording anything.
Okay.
Yeah, when you're tracking anything, a full band, one vocal, whatever. Okay, so everybody good with that so far? That path, right? There is a definite path, and just like we've talked about, remember that diagram I keep drawing on the board: microphone, preamp, A to D, tape. Right? Tape is our computer in this system, and Pro Tools. So microphone, preamp, A to D converter, tape. After tape, D to A converter, monitor management, and speakers. Right? Now we would, in this scenario, we put the summing matrix in there, and yes, the compressor and EQ. But we know where they are because the compressor and EQ are after the preamp, and before the A to D converter. Right? So in our diagram, we can just mentally think, okay, microphone, preamp, compressor, EQ, right, if we turn them on and we use them, then A to D converter, then tape, then on and on, right?
Let me ask you a question. If we were to activate, I guess, the compressor and the EQ, wouldn't we be compressing and EQing what hits Pro Tools?
What do you think?
I think yes.
Yeah. Yeah, because if here's tape and here's the EQ and compression, then whatever we change here is definitely going to be hitting here, right? Because that signal, it just keeps on going on that road, right? And whatever change we do affects anything after that, right? Any change at any point affects nothing before it, but everything after it, right? Cool?
Cool.
Okay, so here's the next step in this whole phase of
You're under the vent.
patch bay. All right, let me.
No, the vent's over here.
Okay, guys. So let's talk about the patch bay a little bit more. I'm going to pull these patches. Okay, so I want y'all to get a close look at the patch bay because I want to show you something. The patch bay isn't just one big unit that we stuck in here, right? It's actually, you can see that individual units like this, right? Each individual unit has 2 strips, the top strip and the bottom strip.
So those are racks?
Yeah, these are little 1-space rack units with 2 rows of TT connections, right?
Okay.
Okay, so, and I can like stick my thumbnail in between them, right? You can see where they're screwed down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got a bunch of individual patch bays that make up one really big patch bay. Okay. It's an interesting thing about the patch bay that helps us out a lot, and this is why there's some confusion when I put all these patch cables in when usually you don't have to put all those patch cables in, right? I put all those patch cables in to show you literally the road that signal is taking. But now that we've got that down and mentally we've grasped that concept, now we can talk about normaling. Okay? Now, a normal in a patch bay means that the signal goes somewhere without us having to patch. Okay? So for instance, if we plugged into mic 19, right, on the wall, goes under the floor and comes up here, it normals to channel mic input 19. So every patch bay, every individual 2 patch bays, it's like every single top number 1 is into top to bottom number 1 patch bays, and on and on. Those are automatically made for us. We don't have to do that. That's called a normal. Okay? And here's a good way to think about this that helps out.
Yeah, because that like just man confuses me right
Yeah. Okay, so 99% of studios are going to have the top part of each part of their patch bay normal to the bottom part of their patch bay, which means every single number 1 is into 1, 2 goes into 2, just like there's a patch cable there.
So in case if you just wanted to like skip those parts and just like, let's say, put it just like from there to another one.
Well, if we go from here, let's say we're grabbing the signal that's coming out of the console on the group output, right? And now it's in my hand.
Okay.
I can plug it into any of the multi-track sends, right? If I plug it into multi-track send 19,